Welcome to the Two Tunes Podcast.
Now you're just doing it in time.
I know. I'm Bo.
I'm Brandon.
And this is Two Tunes Podcast.
From the name of the podcast. There's a podcast called Willosophy with Will Anderson. It's called Willosophy with Will Anderson. And when he introduces it, he's like, this is Willosophy with Will Anderson. I'm Will Anderson from the name of the podcast.
Makes sense.
Like, that's clever.
So thing one that I want to like bring up because it's like, wow, that was really cool. Last week or 2 weeks ago episode.
Sure.
Cheer Up Dusty and the Backseat Lovers.
Uh-huh.
Another big one, and I think it's because of the Backseat Lovers.
I think so too.
Like there's a lot of likes on Instagram.
I looked at the Instagram because I was like, man, I keep getting a lot of notifications about this particular one. Part of it is because they have there's a Backseat Lovers like fan club Instagram page also that I found that and I tagged them also, and I think maybe that got some love.
There you go. So 28 in day one. That's two more.
28 what downloads?
28 downloads in day one. And that's two more than the Suicide Machines. Which was our high of a really long time. Even like the 2 weeks in between, because it went down like drastically.
Yeah, I noticed our Instagram likes were like they like kind of hover around a certain number. And last week or 2 weeks ago was pretty high.
Yeah. Hi, we talk about stuff. I saw The Haunted Mansion.
Same. It's fine.
I'm comparing it to the Eddie Murphy version,
which I am now questioning if I've actually ever seen.
Okay,
maybe I just know that it's not great.
Yeah, I didn't like Eddie Murphy play like 10 characters. Like, isn't that the time frame where he was just like, I'll just play them all?
Maybe. I mean, certainly in his movies, like the ones that he did.
Yeah,
but that would have been a Disney, which maybe he did also. I don't know. But
there's ways we can find out. Is probably I wonder if it's on Disney Plus. Like if they're just like, we don't want to do that one. But I liked it a lot. I think it was good.
Okay.
I saw it with my daughter, and I think that there were some people in the front making out the whole time, which I'm just like,
great. That's not where you sit when you want to do that. You sit in the back.
Yeah. And the people, so we when you buy your ticket, you pick your seat nowadays, and you sit in that seat, and there were people who were
in your seat?
They weren't in my seat, but they were like on the other side. Like I picked a seat based on where people were.
Right.
And they were on the other side, and there were like tons of space between me and them. And then I'm like, are you guys in the right seat? Because like on the app, it said that there were people sitting over there, and there's nobody there. And they said no one was there. So what's going on with this?
I don't like that either. Even if they are in the right seat, like when people buy a seat like near you when there's other seats, I'm like, just come on.
But yeah.
I saw Oppenheimer. Well, I saw Haunted Mansion, which I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
And then I saw Oppenheimer the other night.
I have not seen that yet.
Really liked it. There were like 10 teens. In the two rows in front of me.
Yeah.
That were all together and came in late and just were annoying and were on like Snapchat and different stuff like throughout the movie.
Gotcha.
And then we're like up and down, and not to the point where it was like really awful, but it hampered my viewing experience a bit.
Let's go into like spoiler mode, I guess,
for the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. What didn't you like about it?
It was a little too. I get it's Disney.
Yeah.
And it's like. So it's still got to be for kids a little bit, but I wish it was a little darker, I guess, in some ways. Like it was still like a little too slapstick and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Tiffany Haddish, and so like anytime I see she's going to be in a thing, I'm like, well, she's going to be over the top and whatever.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It's not for me in a lot of ways. What was my friend Mike was saying something too he didn't care for. He's my Disney parks guy. He said something about too he wished it was like maybe like a little bit dark. Oh, I know what it was. And I hadn't thought about this, but he brought up a good point. Like with the ride, you get more exposition on some of these characters than in the movie. It was just kind of like they just like hit all of them. It could have been his thing was like there's 999 ghosts, right?
Yeah.
And you could have like franchised this out and made each one like more central to the story, but instead, so it was like the Hatbox Ghost is like the main thing or whatever, but then like they had all these other ones and they almost kind of like wasted them in a way.
Yeah,
but also you don't know that you're going to make more of these.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, so you kind of that's the trade-off. It's like they could have just done a movie solely focused on the Hatbox Ghost with like a couple others, and then maybe it flops, and then you never make another one, and people are like, we didn't use this character, this character, this character. But then you do it like this, and now you've used all of them, and now what else is there to do? But that's assuming you're gonna want a Haunted Mansion too.
Which, if this does well, they will, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think that they should have made it a TV series. If you're thinking of like, you know, you go Ghost by Ghost, it's like, there you go. We got 999 episodes to
even just
figure out what's going on.
And then you feature like 10 of them or whatever.
Like each episode is dealing with one ghost.
Yeah.
And what was that show with the girl from the I Know What You Did Last Summer? That like she was
the Ghost Whisperer.
Yeah, something like that. Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was called the Ghost Whisperer.
What was her name?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
There you go. So we're here to talk about.
She's now on 911. One of them. There's multiple.
Yeah. I need to.
I thought the little kid was really good in Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
I thought he was very good.
Yeah.
And I like Lakeith Stanfield in pretty much anything he does.
Which one is that?
He was Ben.
He's Ben. Okay.
Yeah. He's also the guy. He's in. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's in Atlanta. I really like him in that. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I bet part of your going with your daughter like that, you see it through that lens a little bit too. Probably. Like, did she enjoy it?
Yeah. And then she also wanted to go see the Haunting of in Venice. She's like, I want to go. She likes scary movies.
Oh, okay.
And like real scary movies.
Are you gonna take her to see Talk to Me?
She probably wants to go see it,
that's
but
out
I don't think
right now.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. No, Oppenheimer. I won't spoil a thing.
Spoiler: he builds a bomb.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. I thought it was really interesting. Some of the criticism is certainly fair. Like, they don't show.
How did you see it?
In the movies,
like
just regular movie theater.
Okay.
I didn't go to IMAX or anything at that time.
I hear that people are watching it at IMAX, and then IMAX is breaking.
Oh, because it's not built.
Because it's not built for 3-hour movies.
Too much.
It's made for like maybe an hour.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this before. The only one that I remember is in the Cleveland Science Center, which is right next to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we saw The Biggest Dam movie, and it was about beaver dams.
Yeah.
I know I've said that before on this podcast.
Yeah.
So anyways, we talk about two tunes here. And today, the first one is Dead American. They have an EP out that was a while ago. And it was called The Shape of Punk is Dumb.
As opposed to The Shape of Punk to Come.
Yeah.
Which is based on The Shape of Jazz to Come.
Yeah, and it looks like that whole thing, but it's an EP.
Like The Refused?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, isn't the Refused also based on the crap? Like, what does
The Shape of Punk to Come is based on The Shape of Jazz to Come, which is an Ornette Coleman album.
Yeah, but
I don't think the album cover is... I don't think the artwork is the same.
Okay, so The Shape of Jazz... Yeah, you're right. It's not at all.
Isn't it just him standing there with his saxophone?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's... Yeah, it is. It is him. It was really tiny. Yeah, so like the name comes from there, and then The Shape of Punk to Come. Come on, change the word to punk. Punk to Come. So it's that artwork. Similar idea, artwork-wise. Where it says the band name and then The Shape of Punk is dumb and then like all that crap. Looks like an old-timey record, but not an old-timey record, but not the same. And that came out in 2018, I think. I hate bands that don't have websites.
That's what Wikipedia is for.
Yeah, but the Wikipedia
or their Spotify
they don't. Yeah, I don't know. Or their record label. They are
Bandcamp.
Yeah. This is not from Bandcamp. This is from Velocity Records. So Dead American was... Oh, that makes sense. Sorry. Born out of timing patience and waiting around for the right moment. In 2016, Cove Reber, R-E-B-E-R, formerly of Seosin or Seocean. Depends. Was introduced to Chad Jordan through a mutual friend, and then they like...
Oh.
So
he's the singer.
yes.
Okay. I was like, this singer sounds like Anthony Green
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
But I was
Gonna
like,
bring
but I
that
know
up.
it's not him, but I was like, but it sounds like the singer of a different band, but that makes sense.
Yeah, and I
100%.
think so. He was probably the second singer of Seosin.
Mm-hmm.
I say Seosin.
That's how I've always said it.
Yeah. And then the album is called New Nostalgia, which is a reference to a lot of the older bands that they're kind of emulating, and they're like, we're trying to do the 2010s, but now.
Yeah.
And like the album is really good. I listened to it today in its entirety, and then I listened to it a couple days ago in its entirety. And this is the first track. This is not the first track that I heard, because obviously I heard the EP, and then off this I heard the song Choke. And then I was like, where did I find this band? And I may have refound this band because they are playing with The Used. So it's like,
Yeah,
The
when I
Used.
saw that lineup, I was like, I recognize that band name, but I don't know if I've
Yeah,
really listened to them or not.
I might go to that concert.
If you
I
can figure
don't.
out where it is.
It's related to XL Live,
Yeah.
but I
Do
don't,
they have an outdoor space? I don't think they
don't
do.
know.
Like that's what I think it
Like,
would
is it
be.
just under the bridge? Like that's their
Right?
south side stage.
That'd be amazing.
It's just the south of that. It's under
Yeah.
the bridge. Yeah, it does. I don't know where it is.
You should call them.
Yeah, it's $40, so it's pretty
It's not bad.
inexpensive. It's on
Yeah.
a Friday or Saturday, so I don't have to like call off work or anything
Right.
like that. So I don't know. Having shows that are around and not having to drive an hour and a half
Yeah.
are pretty cool. So go support your local music scene. So,
Did you go to either of the outdoor concerts?
no.
We had Jason Isbell and the 400 unit and the Roots.
Did you go to any of them?
No, I couldn't go to the Roots because I had a show. I would have probably gone again because they were really fun last year. And Jason Isbell I've not really gotten into, so I wouldn't have spent money on a ticket for like my first time really listening to him. So
Also, at some point, they were on Equal Vision,
yes,
and they're from Southern California.
cool.
So that's all I know.
Okay. What's the name of the song?
Not Buying In. There was also a song on here that, on the record, what was it called? It was called Hate Speech. But I didn't dig it, like, because I was either running or riding my bike while listening to this. And then, by the way, riding my bike with headphones on, but I have it out of a lower volume, and then I have the through thing. I'm basically saying I can hear what's going on around me when I'm listening to these things.
Yeah.
Because I have it at a low volume, and I'm also like passive.
Yeah.
So
you can hear out, like-
so like it's amplifying what's going on around me.
Yeah.
But in that song, I don't know if it's going to. Is this the one? No, that's the other one. Never mind. It doesn't matter. But I need to dig in because it said like it's not. Don't call it hate speech. It's just hate, I think was the line. And I'm like, what is this really about? And I wanted to dig into that myself to be like, what are they saying? Anyways, Not Buying In, Dead American, New Nostalgia. Let's see if you can hear it. Hey, we can.
Yep.
Hold on a second, because I accidentally played it earlier.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the Radiohead thing where the first sound on the record might be like them plugging in the guitar for the first time.
This also involves them walking in the room.
Yeah. It's a great sound. Everyone should do it. I really like that. Like, mic check, when, like, this is not a test.
Yeah. I feel like somebody else has done that before.
And yeah, now that like they're like, oh, he was in Seosin. It even like, oh, okay, it even makes more sense as far as like how this sounds.
I'm always a little too late, a little too much for my own sake, but I know there's left to say. There's nothing worth
that that's
Yeah.
that was like that's Anthony Green.
Yeah.
So
just seems fake in the end. I'm not buying it. I won't follow your leader. I won't follow him. I'll never follow. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying your shit. I'm sick of it. I'm just so sick of it.
this breakdown is a little like on the nose.
Yeah.
Linkin Park a little bit. Mm-hmm. Early
Yeah, I can hear
Linkin
that.
Park.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like it's new nostalgia is right. Like it's got that feel
Yeah.
of like a lot of things that I know, and like all the influences that they have, and also just other bands and things they've been in. I like this part when they get to it a couple times.
Chorus.
Yeah,
I did air quotes because I don't
Yeah.
really know. It's probably the chorus
yeah,
because it says the name of the song in it. I'm not
Right.
buying in. It's subtle changes, and they're super. Like it's not super. Like this is. You can tell what's different between
Yeah.
chorus 1 and chorus 2.
the thing that I think he says the word "give"
yeah.
that goes into it, and it's like a harmony change that like you don't expect.
I think there's like verse, chorus,
Post chorus,
post chorus,
yeah.
verse, chorus, post chorus.
Yeah, yeah. It's got some Under Oath
Yeah,
vibes
yeah.
as well.
It's got that new nostalgia.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
I dig it a lot.
Yeah, and you said the whole album's
Yeah,
good.
the whole album is really good, and it doesn't just do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's when I was listening to it and then thinking about like, oh well, they're playing with the Used, so then I like kind of compared some stuff to the Used. I'm like, yeah, like that like they have some ballads. I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what the proper definition of a ballad is.
Say ballad. Who was I just listening to an interview with? Singer from some band, and they were talking about Wolves at the Gate, and they were talking about like ballads, and I was like, yeah, that song's as close as you guys get to a ballad, like
What is the definition?
of an actual ballad.
Yeah.
I mean, probably just like a slow love song or something like that.
Okay.
If I could look it up or whatever, but to me,
But
like,
wouldn't it be a like there's the term love ballad?
Sure.
So that would mean that it's not doesn't necessarily have to be a love song.
yeah,
if you take away
that's
the
true.
word love.
I think just like slower and quieter is usually like what people associate with. But when you're a band like this,
Yeah.
even just a little quieter or something, you know, like or like cleaner guitars or whatever,
Yep.
and like yes, that's your ballad. You know,
The
like,
the third track.
it's all
on,
relative.
The third track on this record is, in my opinion, a ballad.
Okay.
It's called Anything Different, and then it kind of like it goes up and down.
Yeah.
And it does some really cool things.
And
It's
oftentimes there'll be a big build and a heavy hit and whatever. And it's like,
46 minutes, 13 songs. Longest song is 4-ish minutes.
is that the ballad?
The third song is 408.
Okay.
It's not the longest song, but it probably is the ballad.
Yeah.
Those longer songs are
Yeah.
the ballad.
Well, because you're slower tempo, like yeah. That's funny.
it is.
Hey, I have a tip for everybody.
Yeah.
If you get pine sap on your car,
Yeah.
rubbing alcohol.
Okay. Welcome to I don't know.
2 life hacks.
Life hacks.
Yeah.
Two tunes life hacks. 2 life hacks, yes.
But yeah, it works really well.
What's up with today's Google?
The
Doodle.
Google Doodle. I don't know.
Yeah. Altina something or other. Shenancy.
What?
She is best known for designing the now iconic cat eye eyeglass frames. And she didn't have glasses in any of the pictures. But I know what she's talking about, and those are cool.
Mhm.
Okay, anyways. your turn.
Trying to think if I had something else to say. I don't think so. So as we record this, not as it comes out, we are. It is a Friday, and it is the Friday of closing weekend for The Sound of Music,
Yeah.
Keystone Theatrics. We've got 4 shows this weekend. They are all sold out, which is cool. I think we've sold out like 9 of the 12 shows we've done.
That's super cool.
Yeah. On Monday of this past, like earlier this week, they announced that Friday night and Sunday were already sold out, and then there were like limited tickets for the others. And when I looked at those limited tickets, that meant Saturday afternoon had 2 seats, not together, and Saturday night had like 12 seats. So I texted my one friend who I was like, "Hey, you said you were going to come. It's okay if you're not, but if you are, you need to get tickets like right this second." And so he was able to get a couple, but it's kind of cool. So anyway, I say all that because it kind of ties sort of into this band that I'm playing. I want to make sure that I sent you the right band. Nope, just kidding. Just kidding. Forget all of that. I mean, you can know that we did that, but I thought I sent you a different song first.
Okay.
So can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
Cool. We'll be back in a second.
No, we won't. We'll be back in like 2 bits.
All right, so we're back. No time has passed.
Absolutely no time has passed.
So what happens, sometimes Bo and I will record 2 of these in a day.
It's like every time.
Most of the time. And so we send them, send this one first and this one second. And that's just the order that we do them in. And I thought that I sent him the tune we're going to talk about as my first tune, but it was not. So he just switched the playlist, which is all good. But the main character, or probably the main character of The Sound of Music is Maria. Maria Rayner is her name. And every time she says her name in the show, I'm like, oh yeah, there's like this 90s, early 2000s emo band called Rainer Maria. And I was like, I should listen to them because it's a band I've known about but haven't really probably ever listened to, or like did on a compilation and like that's it. So last weekend on the way home, I put on their album from, I think, 2001. Should find it here real quick. Yes, A Better Version of Me by Rainer Maria from 2001. And part of me was like, are they named after Maria Rainer, like the character from Sound of Music, or are they named after Rainer Maria Rilke, who's a German poet?
And the answer is?
German poet.
Okay.
I mean, you could make the argument, I guess, either way, but on their Wikipedia it says that they're named after Rainer Maria Rilke. German language poet. So, but it still made me think of that, and it made me listen to this band, and I'm glad I did. So this is the opening track, 2 opening tracks today. That's your unofficial theme.
Okay.
From A Better Version of Me by Rainer Maria. So they were founded in 95 as a trio. Caitlin Demaris, I'm going to say, or Demarais if it's French. Kaya Fisher and William Kuhn. And from what I've heard and also like read a little bit, like earlier it was more of like male female vocal, like back and forth kind of thing, or like the same time. And then like more later on it's more just Caitlin as like the primary vocalist. So that's what this tune is. It's like more just her, but if you go back to some of their like older stuff, you'll hear a little bit more of him as well. So, but yeah, I just really kind of dug it. I think that's been a theme for me the last like several weeks. It's just like bands that are older that I hadn't listened to before, and so I'm just kind of getting into them. So
where mine has been like so new that they don't have a website.
Right. Yeah. And I've certainly done enough, like plenty of that as well, but it's just kind of where I've been at lately.
I should.
So.
I'm also that way. I don't have a website for my for Echoes in the Well House, or even my own stuff.
Do you have Bandcamp?
Do I have Bandcamp? Yes.
Okay. Because a lot of times I'll get like bios and stuff from there.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't have a bio for it. I'm really bad at like music business.
So yeah, these folks not a band anymore as far as I know. Oh, they had a reunion back in like 2014 and 2017. They had an album in 2017, I guess, but I'm not so sure that they're like still a thing. But yeah, I've been digging in a little bit, and I just kind of dig their sound and stuff. Again, that like, I don't know what wave of emo this would be, but that like late 90s, early 2000s.
Come on, you are emo
like
expert.
Actual emo. It's probably third wave, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, that's your You need to. Do
I just know that we're in
research.
the fifth wave currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this song's.
I'm not
playing.
on TikTok anymore. I don't know if I've said that on the podcast.
You did.
Did I? Okay.
Yes.
But I'm not on TikTok anymore. So that guy that I would get occasionally, or I follow, I don't remember,
Mm-hmm.
would know, and I don't remember what his name is, so I can't find them. Wave. Oh, here we go. The Beginner's Guide to the Evolution
my
of Emo
God,
from
stop.
Enemy.
Anyways, we'll play songs. let's play the music.
we
Artificial
go.
Light, Rainer Maria, A Better Version of Me.
Yeah. I think it's second wave. Second wave.
Okay.
No one defines artificial light.
In there, written by Rainer Maria is in it. So,
Oh, there's some lyrics by
There-
him? Or what do you mean?
like, the name is just there,
Oh.
which means it might be like the band.
Yeah.
But then everybody else is also named.
Oh, okay.
So,
Maybe that's the thing they do for like, well, I don't know. So they each get credit, but then the band gets credit. So maybe they had like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fund for songwriting credit, and then they'll pay
yeah. Or just Apple messed up
that too.
and just put the name of the band as
Yeah.
well.
Why is this technology in anathema?
I thought you were saying like Rainer Maria Rilke was.
Maybe.
Credited.
Well, no, it just says Rainer Maria.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is a lane of music that I missed at the time.
Okay.
Like,
Second wave emo?
yeah, well, just like all these, like a bunch of these bands and stuff, like from this era, I just like knew about them maybe later, or like maybe had heard of them, but I just because this was my like punk and getting into hardcore and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so this would have been right up my alley. I just didn't know about it. But I was also coming from that like Christian music thing, so like the entryway was different. There were some bands like this, but I just didn't get into that.
As I'm looking at this website, I totally came in on the third wave.
Yeah, most of us did, I think.
And then was I out in the fourth wave?
You're looking at the Enemy article.
Yeah, I am. 2000. Well, this only says that there's 4.
We're in the fifth wave, according to that guy.
According to one guy on the random
Yeah.
guy on the internet.
Yeah, I was out on the fourth wave, although I'm getting back into the fourth wave.
Okay.
Yeah, these folks, I want to get into more of their stuff. I listened to this whole album, like I said, on the way home the other night, and been listening to it since. And then I listened to a little bit of. Find out what the album is. Listen to a bit of Look Now, Look Again from '99, which has their biggest song, Breakfast of Champions. And that's got a little bit more of the dual vocals thing. Like, you hear a little bit of it in this
Yeah.
song, but
Usually
it's a
I
little
do
more prominent.
the same amount of research that I on your bands as well as my own.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked up anything of this because this I didn't actually dig that much
Okay.
as I dig the next week's artist.
Too slow.
To the same.
Okay.
Like it's just the same thing over. Like there's not many dynamics.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just kind of like all there, laid out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. I like it.
Yep.
Not everything's for everybody.
You're right. And but you can. Oh, so one of my students last week, I was like, all right, you got here's your assignment, because like they didn't really know what they wanted to like learn about, and I'm like, well, what? Because I know like where they are, and they're very like stuck in like I like these 3
Is
bands.
this the student that I know?
No, not
Oh,
at all.
okay.
You don't know this guy.
but it sounds like the student that I know.
maybe, but they're kind of like stuck. We'll talk about that person
Okay.
afterwards because I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
They're stuck in this little musical bubble, like Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, and like that's really it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you need to like expand out of that. And
Yeah.
I showed them this website called musicmap.info.
Oh.
And it's like an interactive web of music, all music. And it's like it goes by by decades, and then it's like when the music started and how it was influenced and what it influenced. And then you can like find like, well, oh, you like this new wave? Well, in new wave, these are the bands that are new wave, and then it also spawned these genres, and it's an interactive map, and it's like it's way too big. It's if your internet connection is not good, it's super slow.
Musicmap.info.
Yeah, it's a huge, like you'll just see a cityscape and you zoom in, and then the cityscape goes, and it's also like not a line, it's a circle. So like the thing that's on the left is exactly the same thing that's on the right. Anyways, it's like really interesting of how you if you wanted to like explore music and how it relates to other music, and then be like, oh, okay, I didn't even know this thing existed. So you could go through all like the death metal and black metal and or all the different shades of EDM as
Is that
well.
the right thing?
Music map.
I'll have to ask you then.
Musicmap.info.
Yeah.
Music map.
But how do I find like a specific person?
Oh, you don't.
Oh.
You don't find a specific
It's
person.
genres.
It's more based on genre.
Oh, okay.
But you could find like what that genre is, and then go from there. So not an individual band. That'd
okay.
be that. Oh my god, that'd
That'd be really crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be like this band influenced these bands. Yeah, that's a big band. Or big
Well, how
thing.
do I find? Okay, so I did find like a search bar, and I searched John Coltrane, and it
Okay.
comes up as Blue Train Hard Bop. Sure. But then I click on Hard Bop, and it gives me like a little journal article.
Yeah.
It's like 2 paragraphs or whatever.
You
Not even.
need to like explore the actual map.
But when I click on the map and I click on jazz, it just gives me like again
Yeah.
like a journal article on like what is jazz.
Hover above one of the forms of jazz. Did you zoom in?
No, how do I like literally zoom in?
Like pull down.
Oh, now I see.
And then it
That
starts
should
to be a
be-
web, and then you can go to like free jazz avant-garde, and then
I see.
I forget what the map is, but like the hard lines
Interesting.
are how like they directly connect,
Mm-hmm.
and then or influenced, and then it like goes back to Chicago jazz and like how new wave or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I like this better.
Yeah. So how, and then like you can go out from there and be like, I don't like rock. I only like jazz.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, do you like hard bop? And it's like, well, how about rhythm and blues then?
Oh, also this timeline goes different than I thought.
Yeah, the older is at the top.
Yeah, because I was like,
You want it to go from the bottom up.
because I clicked on bebop and then it shows like this direct line to this other thing down at the bottom, and I was like, oh, what are they showing that like skipped over these other things? And it's like Nordic jazz from the early 2000s. I was like, what? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So all right,
right.
I'll have to check this out. That's
All right.
interesting. Cool.
So I made a list of things, and we need to be better at business, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. So
So
this is our exit strategy, I guess.
okay, exit interview.
So exit interview. So how do you think the episode went? No. So how can they reach us?
They can send us an email.
Send us an email.
2tunespodcast.
I don't think anyone's going to send an email.
They should.
I think there's easier ways
send
and there's
emails.
more direct. People have, I agree.
Snappy, more
There.
direct.
Yes. So yes, you can email us at twotunespodcast@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on Facebook. And
Yeah. And Instagram.
Instagram
Instagram.
at 2 Tunes Podcast.
Yes. Now you had a question from a listener.
I
about
did?
a thing. Yeah.
Where?
On Instagram.
Oh,
You had and then let's talk about that.
the
for a
band
second.
asking us
Yeah. So
Okay.
like a person
from a band
messaged us asking, it's like, hey, how do I submit music?
to be reviewed on the podcast.
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Which I am all about listening to new music, and
Yes.
and I agree to I will listen to that band.
Yeah. Same. I
Because,
saved their
like,
EP
we
already.
might not be like, oh, that's the website worthy.
Yeah.
Not website worthy, but podcast worthy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. we'll probably talk about this off podcast, but
Yeah.
we might make a specific place for that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to like give anybody hope that's like, oh, it's going to be on the pod. Like,
Yeah,
no.
because
It's
we
like-
had that early on, very early on
Yeah.
in the podcast. We had somebody reach out and was like, oh, here's my music. Hope you listen to it, whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
and it was fine.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like, it's I don't know. It's just like stuff has to really like grab us and whatever. And I don't want people to feel bad that like
Yeah.
they went out of their way to like message us and share stuff. And then
So-
it's like, it's not that I think your music's bad. I don't know. I've got a whole long list of things, or like I keep finding new things or whatever. So
Ideas, spitballing here. So there's that whole thing about like on the Krista Makes a Podcast, he has a section of like bands you might not know.
oh, okay,
We could do something like that, maybe, possibly. The submission, how you do it, is 100% going to be through Discord.
okay,
So go join our Discord, and then I'm going to make a channel that is specifically for music submissions in any way.
Sure.
And I think we already have that up there.
well, we have the self promo one,
yeah.
which like you have put, hey, here's my new Echoes in the Wild House stuff
Yep.
or whatever, which is
Ugh.
cool.
So it's going to be there. So you should go join the Discord. There's a link in the description. And hey, if it doesn't work for some reason, just message us on Instagram
Yeah,
and say, "Hey, your link's not working," and I will fix it.
yeah,
And then I'm going to do this. This is our ad,
okay,
my ad
Okay.
that I'm paying for,
great.
and you don't get any money from it. Neither do
Give
I.
me-
I am starting to mix more frequently.
Okay.
So mixing songs. And so if you are listening to this and you're in a band and you want to get your music mixed, or you have a podcast and you like the sound of this and you want it mixed, then hit me up.
Cool.
Because I want more clients.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other
And
thing?
I get paid.
Yes, and he gets paid.
This is me reaching out.
Gimme.
Doing the gimme sign. Genius grant, please.
Oh, the genius. All right, so we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.